Hey, what's going on, YouTube? So let me just get going live on Instagram here. Checking connection. What's up? All right, finally got this connection working. It is episode. I was going to clap real hard, but you know what? I do that all the time. So I went with the soft clap. It's episode number 4 of Weekend Warriors. Okay, so this is currently it's just a show on my YouTube, my Instagram. And by the way, if you're just joining in, on YouTube or on Instagram, leave any questions or comments. I'm going to actually get to them at the end of this episode. I'm going to scroll through, but this is, like I mentioned, an episode currently, but it will be turning into a podcast soon. So all these episodes that I've filmed so far will be going into that. Plus, I'll be bringing you these once a week. Okay. So like I said, any questions or anything, leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them. I want to cover a very important topic in today's live stream, okay, in today's episode. It's going to be flexible dieting. Now, in case you didn't know, this is a series called Weekend Warriors. Excuse me. The reason why it's called that, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, is because I am primarily bringing you content and tips, strategies, tools, whatever, things that I've done, anecdotes, things that have helped, others, including my clients, of course, friends, family, things that have been put into place that will help you conquer your weekends, because as I'm sure we all agree and know, the weekends are a massive or a very important reason, a massive piece of the puzzle, just as much as a very important reason as to why we don't reach our fitness goals or any other life goal for that case. Okay. Not just fitness, but fitness is a great analogy for all. So obviously I do cover specifically fitness. So that is what I'm bringing you. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking specifically about flexible dieting. Okay, I'm going to be coming out with a flexible dieting video on its own for my YouTube channel soon. But flexible dieting, specifically how it's going to help you for your weekends. Okay, I personally am the flexible dieting king, self-proclaimed, I will admit. But I have been using flexible dieting for a long time. I get all my clients, friends, family on it. I think it is the superior way to diet or to alter your lifestyle in a positive way that's going to lead to results. Of course, one of those benefits that it has is that it's very easy to use throughout the weekend. So a lot of us, not me, but a lot of people out there jump on these diets that are very restrictive, or they're, the yo-yo diets, the typical stuff. The problem with that is one of the many is that they're not sustainable throughout the weekends. Again, everybody has no problem going Monday to Friday, or should I say Monday to, halfway through Friday. Friday night comes around, Saturday, that's a write-off. Sunday, see you never. Next thing you know, boom, you wake up, it's a new week, you got to get back on track, but then you realize you did some serious damage over the weekend, and, now you're less motivated. Chances of you reaching your goals are much lower. So this form of dieting is key. And again, I'm not going to dive into the specifics of what flexible dieting is and all of the tips and tools, just specifically how it's going to help you for the weekend. But I will deep dive into some important points about it just to make sure you understand how to use it to conquer your weekends. Maurice, what's happening, brother? So don't forget, if you're on my Instagram right now, jump onto my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube. I'm going to be leaving this episode up permanently after it's done. On Instagram, it stays around for about 24 hours. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube, where I bring exclusive content on there 3 times or more per week. Okay, so we're going to start off by briefly touching on what flexible dieting is. Okay, so flexible dieting is essentially counting calories and macros. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a calorie counting Nazi. It simply means that you're aware of how many calories your body's intaking, how much you're intaking, how much your body needs. You're playing around with, or at least somewhat aware of, what macronutrients are, how much of them you're consuming. And the most important part, which is also the reason it's called flexible, is because it's not restrictive. Okay. Excuse me. I just ate a lot of food. Flexibly ate a lot of food. So it doesn't restrict you from eating any food. It's not going to cut out sugar. It's not going to cut out carbs. It's not going to cut out fats, or, whatever the case is, your favorite food, those donuts that you love, those Timbits, that pizza, you don't have to cut it out. Instead, the premise of flexible dieting is to bring those things down to portions that would fit into the aforementioned calories and macros that you have determined. So, pancakes, exactly. You love pancakes? No need to give them up. As a matter of fact, pancakes can be extremely beneficial and helpful to get you to your goals, even like, protein pancakes, that kind of stuff. So that's essentially what it is. You figure out your calories and macros, you track them, and you fit any foods within those parameters. Again, non-restrictive. And I'm sure, hopefully, you can understand the benefit already is the fact that it is not, it's not one of those things where you just have to torture yourself, okay? Instead, you're able to sustain it longer just because of that fact that you can still enjoy the foods that you want to eat, but now you're just more aware of portion sizes. You're more aware of the fact that you can actually eat those foods and still get to your goals. Super key, super clutch. When I found this out, my world changed, my life changed, okay? Somewhat though, and I'm gonna get into this, okay? So you can technically eat these things, as long as it fits in, but I still will always recommend an 80-20 split. So what I mean by that is you still want to consume a large amount of your foods coming from whole sources, okay, nutrient-dense sources. And this is more so to do with, honestly, just health. Like, yeah, you can eat whatever foods you want, but it still matters. If you have too many of those garbage foods, you're going to take up all your calories for the day. You're not going to have room for, getting enough vitamins and minerals. And no, taking a multi is just not enough. You don't want to be dependent on that. Make sure you have an adequate amount of veggies, fruits, complex carbs, good protein, all that stuff. So, again, it's not just eat whatever you want. You can only eat pizza every day and still lose fat. That is the case. However, that's very short term as well, because that's just not, it's going to lead to poor hormonal profile. Okay, your body's going to be way out of whack. Vitamins and minerals are extremely important when it comes to regulating your hormones and your overall health, performance, energy, the way you feel, the way you act, the amount of sleep you get, the quality of sleep you get. These things impact that. So again, I always recommend that you need to at least make it 80% of the total calories you consume from micronutrient dense foods. That's, your greens, your fruits, your good carbs, your protein, and your healthy fats, okay? 80%. And honestly, the closer you can make that to 100, the better. So in my case, I tend to make it more 90-10. 90% whole foods, 10% whatever I want. Although a lot of the times I'll just fill it in with whole foods. But if I want to have a slice of pizza, I can fit that in that 10%. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That is my recommendation always. Now, let's talk about why flexible dieting is so key for the weekends. Okay. Again, the flexible part is what's important here, because there's also another aspect to it. The fact that you're tracking calories is extremely important. Okay. Tracking calories will open up your world right then and there. If you've never done it before, you will all of a sudden be aware of possible mistakes you were making, and definitely accidental calories you were consuming that you had no idea or didn't think you were consuming in the first place. So why is it best for weekends? Besides the fact that you can eat those foods, if you go to a restaurant and you look on the menu and you're like, well, I only eat chicken, rice, and broccoli. I can't really find that dish here. You're not screwed. Instead, with this approach, pick one of the items you want. And again, using the tactics I'm going to give you here, you can likely eat that food still. You can likely still enjoy yourself with your night out with friends. You can still go out on a night and drink alcohol and still move towards your goals. Granted, you're not going to move as fast towards them, but arguably you may still, because if you just move as fast towards your goals as possible by just eating nothing but the same things every day, that means that your social life is going to suffer. If your social life suffers, what's the point of even lifting? What's the point of working out? What's the point of looking amazing if you have no social life? Obviously, I'm not a proponent. I do not promote or recommend that. You need to have that balance. And that's why flexibility is key. And it's the only way to sustain this in the long term and conquer the weekends while you do it. So let's talk about some strategies as to why or how you can implement flexible dieting to save yourself on the weekends. Okay, very straightforward stuff. And I'm not gonna tell you, you gotta cut this. You can't go out anymore, obviously, because that would just be terrible advice. Okay, anybody who does tell you that, look, you can't go to the restaurant with your friends. That's bullshit. That is bullshit, because at any point, even if you're dieting for a show, if a coach tells you no, you can't go to the restaurant, fine. You're dieting for a show. But at the end of the day, if going out to that restaurant with your friends, eating that burger is going to make you feel better, more sane in that moment, and so long as you only keep it to that one moment, that's fine. One cheat meal, one burger, one thing is not going to mess you up, okay? One mistake doesn't set you back. I forget who quoted this, but it's the second mistake that's a problem, okay? So you make the mistake once. That's fine. One day isn't going to do anything. And you know what? It's could arguably be better for sanity, for adherence, all that stuff. But if you make the mistake again the next day, now all of a sudden you got to be careful, because the chance of you making that mistake a third time, that much higher. And then the second you do that, well, all of a sudden you got a whole other problem on your hands. Okay, so it's okay. You make the mistake once, no problem. You should never be restricted from things you love in order to look better or feel better. You won't. Keep that in mind. So here are the strategies to make sure that you implement this and get the most out of your weekends through flexible dieting. First one, saving calories method. So essentially what you do, by the way, to track your calories, I would recommend MyFitnessPal, in which I have a video on my YouTube explaining exactly how to use it, full guide, all that stuff. MyFitnessPal, what you can do is simply input, let's say you have 2,000 calories a day. You're going out. It's Saturday. Have your first meal. Let's say it's 500 calories. Okay, good. 500 calories in your first meal. Done. Guess what? You're going to a restaurant, and you know yourself. And if you're honest with yourself, which I hope you are, you'll understand that, hey, I might go for that dessert after the meal. I might give in. I might do it. That's the first thing, awareness. Boom, you do that, fine. Suffer for that first 2 hours before you go out. Eat just the one meal. You have 1,500 calories left for when you go out. So now you can go out in peace, because if you're eating 2,000 calories a day, chances are you're not going to go over 1,500 calories in that one sitting. And if you do, you really messed up. But use these other tips I'm going to give you now in combination with the one I just gave you. And it's a bulletproof method. Okay, so save calories before. In other words, prepare in advance for the damage that may be done. In other words, minimize the damage that's going to be done by preparing first. Plan and input the day in advance would be the next tip. You can essentially just like meal prepping, know that you're going out tomorrow, okay? And let's say you don't know. That's fine. I'll tell you how to work around that as well. If you know that you're going out tomorrow with your friends, or you're going out for a night of drinking, you don't want to ruin your gains, okay? You don't want to ruin your gains. No problem. Put it in the day before. Put exactly what you're going to eat before you go out, saving calories at the same time. So input 1,000 calories worth of food first. And from there, now you have the entire day to eat those 1,000 calories that you've already input however you want. You could do it in one meal, first thing in the morning. You could do it after your workout. You could stay fasted for a while and then eat it. It's up to you. But you got 1,000 calories of room to play with. You know the exact foods you need to hit that. Just like that, you've eliminated a ton of stress of wondering or, worrying about the fact that you might go out tonight and you might ruin your diet. You've been doing so well, but now all of a sudden, this always happens, man. It's the weekend. Here we go again. I guess I'll just mess up my result. No, there's no need to think that way. And if you do, it's simply not enough education on the subject, okay? So you're going to plan in advance. Next up, track when you go out, okay? This is not one that people like. I know people hate this one. In reality, people hate anything that actually has to do with the truth about how to get in shape, because it's never a glamorous thing, and it's never the sexy secrets that you want to hear. But let's go into the truth. Tracking when going out. You can track when you go out. I have plenty of clients that when I first start getting them on tracking and all that, they say, yeah, well, I went out, so I couldn't track. Or before they even become my clients, oh, I went out and I couldn't track. Okay, you can track using MyFitnessPal. It has a database of like billions of food, billions. Okay. And probably if you're going to a restaurant that isn't just local, you will find the food. Okay. You'll find it. And if you don't find it, chances are the type of food that you're eating is in that database. So let's say you go to, I don't know, a local pizza place. Okay. You go to your local pizza shop. Pizza shop, is that what they call it? I don't know. Pizza place, pizza, whatever. You go in there and you find this pizza, but there's no code. You can't scan it. Other pieces of, other places pizza. It doesn't matter. Input something. Don't use it as an excuse. It's like, oh, I can't find it in MyFitnessPal. The exact brand, the exact slice, the exact amount. Just input something. Input pizza. How many slices did you have? 3. Put 3. Even if you undershot the calories, you put something in, and the chances of you overshooting even more afterwards are much lower. Okay, so it's kind of a mental game. And if you overshot the calories, let's say you're trying to lose weight, if you overshoot what you input, even better, because now you're definitely going to finish off the day with less calories than you were aiming for. So that's a very powerful strategy. Track when you go out. When you go to a lot of restaurants, they'll even have calories in there. If you can't find the food, just input the calories manually into MyFitnessPal or whatever tracking application you use. All right. So if you were to add all of those, Brady, what's going on, brother? If you were to add all 3 of those tips that I just gave you, you're bulletproof for the weekend. Your diet is bulletproof for the weekend, and you don't have to stick to the plan. You don't have to stick to the chicken, broccoli, rice, whatever bland meal plan you might be on. You can go and eat the foods that you love using this method. You just got to eat less than them or fit them in the calories and the macros. And that's essentially the overarching tip here when going out is to play the mind game. So what I mean is, again, understand that if you're tracking your calories and macros, fitness is all mental. Fitness is all mental. If you're tracking your calories and macros and you go out to a restaurant and you've already input 1,200 calories for the day, okay? You look, you say, okay, every time you look in, you say, I got 800 calories. And when you look at that number, you know, I'm not going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to be conscious of how many calories I eat. Well, if you don't input anything as you start eating because you go out, guess what? Every time you look, you still got 800 calories left. I probably still have a decent amount left. You eat a chocolate dessert, 800 calories. I don't know how many I've left, but hey, whatever. It's too late now. That's what happens. So play the mind game. And what I mean by that is input something. Track something. MyFitnessPal goes with you wherever you go. It's on your phone. There's no excuse. That's why flexible dieting is key. It's not taking over your life. It's enhancing it. It takes 2-5 minutes a day. And just by doing that habit and by using the tips I gave you here, you can conquer the weekends by, putting them together, tracking calories and macros, and eating the foods you want, just controlling them within those parameters. And you'll be surprised as to how much better life is when you can manipulate nutrition in that way, to where you can eat donuts and pizza when you go out. Obviously it's not going to be every day. You can do it once in a while. Boom. Your money. You know what I mean? You wake up the next day, still moving towards your goals, still feeling good, still lots of energy. Weight is still down. It's a no-brainer. Okay. So if you're somebody that struggles with, okay, you know what, guys, that's it for the episode, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into some Q&A real quick. So I'll just, how can I stop cravings though? So cravings, simple, eat a lot more, satiating foods. So more micronutrients in your foods. And essentially how you stop cravings is sometimes giving into the craving, but again, fitting it within the calories. So for example, you have a craving today for, chocolate pudding. All right. You want a chocolate pudding? Perfect. What's your craving going to tell you? You want 1 million? If that's the craving you have, then sorry, but you just got to fight it. That's not the case though. I can guarantee it. You have a craving for chocolate pudding. Good. Eat the chocolate pudding first. Eat it right away. Put it in the calories. Done. You satisfied the craving. Oh, you have a craving for more? Too bad. You already had the chocolate pudding. At that point, that's your mind working against you. That's your mind trying to control you and tell you, no, I want more sugar. I want more sugar. Now, move on to healthier foods, micronutrient dense, and it'll help with your cravings. Drink lots of water. It's all about satiation. Cravings come from not being satisfied from what you're eating already. What's up? Yeah. Say hi to your Indian fans. What's up to all my Indian fans out there watching? Lots of people jumped in today. I love it. How do you know what the food? How do you know what the 1,200 calories are, though? I'm not too sure what you mean there, Jeremy. Couldn't even find the Costco. Imported AAA amount of calories. Importing the foods. No, I meant inputting calories. Input calories. How much carbs, protein, and fat for fat losing, please? Okay. If you expect me to tell you 3 numbers right off the top of my head, it's not going to happen. Figure out your calories first. Go to YouTube. Type in calculate calories John Mango. Watch that video. It'll tell you how to calculate your calories for fat loss. Then message me. DM me. Who is this? Usama Amas. DM me. I'm going to send you both videos. The one that tells you how to calculate your calories and how to calculate your macros. I can't do it right here and now. But those videos will tell you how to do it yourself. How many times can you go out with friends a week? As many as you want. Obviously, the more you go out with your friends, the higher chances you're increasing the chances of you going off track unless you're extremely diligent with the tips I just gave you. So that's up to you and how dedicated you are to both. If you're extremely dedicated to going out with friends and to your fitness, hey, no reason you can't make both work. I'm a meal preparation company. This guy's speaking facts. Bobby on the go. My dude. Appreciate it. Glad you like the content. Pumpkin Krispy Kreme. You can eat Krispy Kreme. It's just portions, my man. It is just portions. All right. That looks like majority of the questions I got here. Scroll back down. Yep. All right, everyone. So thanks so much for stopping by. Everybody on YouTube and everybody on Instagram. Again, if you're on my Instagram, head on over to my YouTube. JON space MANGO. John Mango. Type that in. Click the subscribe button. I'm dropping content weekly. And the content is going to be coming up in terms of quality, not quantity. Okay, maybe quantity down the road again. One more question. What are your thoughts on protein bars? Protein bars are perfectly fine as a supplement if you need protein. Don't need a protein bar every day or multiple for that matter because it's pointless. But you know what? Protein bars are not magical, nor are they the opposite. They're not going to destroy your gains. It's not poison. And it's not going to give you gains. That's going to come down to your overall nutrition as a whole. Micronutrients, density, satiety, flexible dieting, 80-20 rule, like I mentioned all earlier in this video. Protein bar is a very, very small piece of the puzzle. Like such a small piece that it's not even worth worrying about. You want a protein bar? Have one. But fit it in the calories and macros. Okay. Yeah. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, everyone. John Mango. And I'm going to be dropping a video tomorrow and Sunday, as I always do. Tuesdays, Fridays, Sundays. Those are when my YouTube videos go live. These live streams seem to be coming out on the Thursdays. And I might be keeping that schedule for now. Thank you all so much for stopping by, for supporting. I appreciate it. And looking forward to speaking to you guys again soon. Also, shoot me a DM if you want me to cover a specific topic that I haven't yet. If not, I'll just direct you to that topic. Same thing, YouTube. Comments below. You know how it goes. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Link in the bio. Stay tuned for more. Sponsor this video. Sponsor all that good stuff. All right. Cheers, everyone. And I'll see you next time. I will be posting more stories. I've been MIA on the stories on Instagram too. And I'm blowing it on that. But you know what? Sometimes I just want the break from Insta for like a day. All right. Is that so bad? Cheers. I'm going to go ahead and end it on YouTube. YouTube, you know I got you. Exclusive content